Isn't it McLeod?
Yeah, it's McLeod.
See, I know your name.
Yeah. Oh.
See how you did that? I know who the fuck you are.
I know your fucking name.
Yeah.
Bet you feel extra bad now. I do.
Yeah, you should. But it's okay. I haven't seen you in like 7 years.
Welcome to the latest episode of Authenticated with your host, Kate McLeod. I am intrigued by people. People watching, I love. People learning, that's where I'm insatiably curious. I'm interested in the why and how of the creative mind's pattern of thinking, the subtext to the creative thinker, or in its more conscious and malleable form, the creative conscious. Because when you are so clear on yourself via the triad of consciousnesses, then you become reflective to others. Meeting yourself is an infectious practice because what feels good is infectious and something I think we could all use a good dose of. So join me in conversations with a diverse arsenal of creative thinkers, from artists to entrepreneurs to serial thinkers ready to optimize their creative conscious. With me, self-made and self-proclaimed creative entrepreneur. Sounds hot, right? I'm here with Sibel Damar.
Wow, nice. Way to let them know what you just did.
Let them know. I did mess up your name.
It's okay. It's okay. It's been 6 years since we've
It has
seen
been
each
6
other.
years. Okay, so we met about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I was we
were in school.
I was still in school. I was at
Where were you?
I was at the new school for grad
That's
school
right. I
still.
knew you were somewhere cool. I thought of you at like Juilliard or something. I was like, she was like in Juilliard or like Tisch being really cool.
Thank you so much. No, they didn't want me.
That's okay.
I know, it's okay.
Really, it's
I
I
think
don't know what the hype is.
No,
I don't know.
No, I honestly I think everything works out the best.
Yeah.
Like no matter what happens, I always think that it's like it's actually within your control to decide if it works out for you or not.
Yeah.
But no, I was still in grad school. You and I were at UCB together,
Mhm.
and I was taking a class. I was writing, and you were acting, and you played my character Bertha, who loved pandas.
Bertha kills a panda.
Bertha kills a panda.
Oh my God, I've never forgotten that.
I know.
Actually, I have not forgotten that.
That makes me
That was
so
such
happy.
a funny script. So we were doing this thing that was like, it was a class. We were not on this was not a house team. This was
Yeah.
before house team.
Mhm.
For me, it was like, we were doing the class, like the writing classes needed people to perform.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's what it
So
was.
I think it was called like 232 or something.
Something like that. And then
Yeah.
you like blew it out of the water. And 'cause I was so scared too, because I was like,
It's
this
so
is-
easy. You wrote so well.
Thank you. This is like a character I loved so much. And I was like, no, I want to do this. Like, no, that's not the exercise. Like,
Oh
someone
God, it
else
was
has to do
so
it.
good.
And I was so nervous. And then you did it. And I was like, shit.
I would like to bring that character back. Actually, she like didn't she like she killed the panda because she just wanted to be like famous,
yeah.
and she was like explaining that. But like I think that didn't I end up doing it with like a Bavarian accent? So I was like, "Hello, it was me. I killed the panda." It was so weird.
Yes, no, but it was so
And everyone
good.
else was just like at the zoo.
Yeah, enjoying. But you thought it was a stunt that was going to like launch your career.
I did.
Yeah.
I knew. I was like, and in this moment, this is what they're gonna write about later on.
Yes. And Bertha was like trying to locate her hairline, I
Yeah.
think, too, at one point as well. She was interesting. But you have so many characters now.
Oh. Yeah. I've been doing it for a little while. We got
Yeah.
a lot in the bucket. It's fun.
It's so fun to watch. And I don't really laugh out loud at many things. I laugh out loud at John Oliver, to be honest.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. And then not much else. But you, I do laugh out loud. Like I've sent my dad your
Oh.
videos.
Really?
A lot of my friends have sent me your videos. I'm like, do you guys know? I was like, this is a sign that like we need to reconnect.
Wow, that's really cool. That
It-
makes me feel really good.
Oh
Thank
no,
you.
it is so good. And also I loved how smart you were about it too. Like not only did you see like an opportunity and then you were like, especially like the kid in the pool,
Mhm.
and you're like, I'm gonna keep doing this, but then also you copywrote it, which is
Yeah.
so smart.
So that was actually something one of my agents suggested, because I was like, I want to do like merch. I see this as like being like a merch thing later on. I don't know how to go about this. And she was like, yeah, you got to get a copyright on that so you can slap it on some things. And I was like, okay, yeah. And also, I don't know, like if you were around TikTok when that girl who did Look at Me, How I Get Ready, very demure, very mindful. Remember Demure,
Mhm.
Mindful Girl?
I do.
She like didn't copyright her stuff, and then like it like went all over the place with like people's merch. So I was like, ooh, let that be a lesson to us.
Yeah, no, it needs to be, because in creative spaces, people also forget that it's still a business.
Yeah.
And so you do have to protect your intellectual property.
Yeah. That's something that I pride myself on, is being like, I'm kind of like business mindset, but like also like super creative. So that's fun.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Great. No, then we are in each other's orbits for
Yeah.
a reason, because that's like always the thing too for me, is like, it can't beat one without the other because it only propels itself forward if both sides are satisfied.
Yeah. Unless you have a really good team and you have like a bunch of people around you whose job it is to like make sure that all of your stuff gets done on time and in a good way and that your like brand looks good, then like, yeah, you can just be like the artist. But if you don't have that, then you have to kind of have those qualities.
Yeah, well, that sounds like us in like 3 years when we have our whole teams and they just
I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
very
excited for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you in advance for that.
Future us is so happy.
Future us right now is looking at this episode and they're like, do you remember how hard it was?
And they're like, oh my God, we cried so much along the way.
We did. I'm glad you feel the same.
Yeah, no, I do. You have so many characters and I'm wondering like where you are in those characters, because I think that there is something to be said for leveraging creativity where you see an opportunity to like tap into a common thought amongst a lot of people or something that's going to hit really well. But I don't know what it is. And I watched probably 25 of your videos this morning trying to figure out what it was.
Really?
Because I was like, what is the one common thread? There is something and I couldn't really name it. And I was wondering if you could.
That's weird. I've never been asked this question before.
Oh, I love that.
I really don't. I mean, you mean that there's like something in all my videos that's like
distinctly you?
Okay. Yeah. I think that that's got to just be my like, okay. Somebody like once described it to me as like, I have like a little twinkle. It's kind of like a little at the camera. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a little like, you guys are with me, right? Type thing. It might be that.
I think that is what it is. It's like, because I kept wondering how often you would laugh right after a certain take. Like you just looked like you
every
were
time,
having,
yeah.
Because
I'm like laughing during it. I'm laughing after. I'm laughing. Yeah, it's hard.
Constantly.
It's really hard.
Okay, so then where in your like creative thinking or your trajectory as a creative, like the comedy is in everything so long as you are enjoying yourself doing it?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It's the fun thing. I think that is actually, you just nailed it.
Yeah.
Because when I look at my friends who have that thing too, I can think of a bunch right off the top of my head. My friend Marina, I love you, Braza. Like, she has fun when she performs. And when she's up on stage, you can like see how much fun she's having.
Yeah.
And without any regards to like what else is going on or what people think of her. And that to me is like the most inviting thing.
Yeah. Wait, okay. So then what's your relationship to the fourth wall?
Whoa. Oh, man.
While you think about that, anyone who doesn't know what a fourth wall is, it's the imaginary wall that exists between the performer in their world and the audience member who's experiencing that world and entering into it.
That was really good. Really concise.
Thanks.
Explanation.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like sort of just, I don't know. I don't know that I've thought about that at all.
Because it kind of seems like it's a common limbo play space for you in the audience because everyone's having so much fun because you're having so much fun.
Yeah. I just want it to feel like you're hanging out with your friend. So like, okay, and I think it depends on the character too. Like my kid character, right? So the kid is talking directly to you.
Yeah.
The kid, I really want it to feel like you are standing, looking down at a kid. I always film it from like an up angle. And the kid is like coming up to you really randomly and be like, hi, what's going on? Like, you want to do the credit thread out? You know, like that kind of thing. And I want it to be like breaking the fourth wall. And it is like the person holding the phone should feel like that's them, that they've just come across that kid. So that's different than like if I do an impression, you know, like a Kira or a Kate Blanchett or a Winona or something. That's like, usually I have like an eye point and I'm looking out somewhere and there's like a scene that I've written and it's unfolding more cinematically, I think. So the wall is a little more
up a little bit more. Well, and that would make sense for those characters in comparison to like the kid in the pool. So in your pre-production, what is your process kind of like when you have these ideas, or is it spur of the moment and then you just further curate them along as you go?
Almost all of them are like pre-written, which is like hard. The kid, I can improvise a lot because now the kid I really, really have. Like that kid is like all up in me. We're kind of the same person. I like walk around my house as that kid. My friends call me and they're like, hey, you want to go play a video game, throw it out? I'm like, oh my God, this has really saturated my life. But what was the question?
It's okay. We had to do a little mic
I
adjustment.
got distracted and I was like, what am I talking
No,
about right now?
Totally fine.
Why is my voice making noise?
Well, we were talking about kind of like the progression of like pre-production and then going on further beyond it.
Yeah. No, so the kid is like improvised. I don't want to use a gender with a kid because I think it's like whatever gender you want it to be.
I like that.
But a lot of it's written. I like write a script. I write it in script format. I tweak it. I edit it. I, punch it up. And then I shoot it. And then usually when I'm shooting, I'll have like, oh, this joke could be funnier. There's like, some room for improvement here. And then, I edit it.
I like that you just said that it's so part of you and like walk around your house and like that is you, because I think those are the best characters that anyone can create from their own self, is something that is so closely related to them because there's that extra air of believability into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of the magic and like the twinkle. And it also came to me just now, I think your fourth wall kind of has the perspective, if I may say, of like the mockumentary style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also something I really like. Wow, you really nailed me. I love this. I've never like done a deep dive into what I do. I just kind of like do a bunch of things and hope that something sticks, which is not maybe the best thing, but it seems to work. So.
It works for you. I think there's with creatives and like when I talk to people about like their creative thinking, there are two different routes. It's one, you talk about it, the other, you don't talk about it. Because there is magic in that sort of way too. And I'm always afraid to like debunk people's creativity by being like, oh, go for it.
I'm going to take out my Invisalign right now.
Do it.
I'm like lisping so hard. I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Y'all can put this in. It's okay. Billie Eilish also had these, so we're fine.
I had them 2 separate times after braces in adolescence.
Okay, well, your teeth are beautiful. So I just have to join you.
And I invested a lot in them. So
it's so much better when I take them. And I'm like, yeah, I can take my asses again. It's nice. It feels better. It feels more like me. I was like trying to talk to you and I'm like,
when you're hyper fixated.
Yeah, I was hyper fixated on like how my lips like wouldn't get around them. They really like pushed my mouth out, My mom, when I went home for Christmas, she was like, did you get lip fillers? And I was like, no, it is my Invisalign. They are pushing my lips out. But also, thank you so much.
But also, thank you.
Yeah, basically.
I'd say it's cheaper than filler, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not. When you're around your house and you're like pretending to be these characters.
Yeah.
I had a visual this morning of all the props that would be hanging out around your house that you get to just live with.
Yeah. I got a lot of wigs. I have a lot of props. I have a lot of but I'm very organized. I have like OCD. I don't I don't think a lot of people know actually how I am. Because every time I'm online, I'm a character. I'm like really rarely myself online, and it's kind of one of my resolutions for the year to like let people know a little bit more how I actually am. Like sitting here talking with you, this is like I feel very vulnerable. I'm like sweating, like I feel uncomfortable. My pits are wet. It's like there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
But when I'm a character, it's like totally everything is fine because I am an actor at my core, and I'm like I would rather be somebody else than sit there and be myself. But I'm trying to get better at that. So my house is immaculate. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like everything has a place.
Yeah.
Everything has a thing. My wigs and stuff, they got a box. All my costumes are in a box. There is no like chaos or like confusion. It's super not artsy, my home, really. Okay. It's like I have
just
OCD.
Organization.
Yeah. It's gorgeous, but it's organized.
Okay. Well, I'm like you too. I am hyper organized.
So we're the same.
Yeah.
What I'm learning is we're best friends.
I'm aware. No, and I thought it was so funny when I DM'd you and I was like, you've been on my mind. You're like, you've been on my mind.
You did. You were on my mind like the day before you messaged me. Mm-hmm. But I think that's a thing. That's that like telepathy thing that happens.
It's a frequency thing that happens when it's like, and it's also, I feel like always such a good sign to know that I don't want to say right, but it's like you are on a frequency that works for you, because if it's meeting someone else's, it's like proof that if you live in this like reverberate space energetically and like your energies are everywhere and you want them to potentially be received by other people when other people are also in the same wavelength, I'm like, it's already working. It's good.
Wow, yeah.
I want to go back to something you just said when you said that you would so much rather be other people than yourself. Don't you think that's a version of just like channeling yourself?
I don't know. Is it?
Like being yourself? Because I could argue that like you doing characters where you're like, I don't, I want to be more vulnerable and share myself. Like, I think that exists in all the stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know why. I've always viewed it as kind of like a safe version of sharing myself. Like the kid is my inner child, and a lot of it is based on my childhood. Like people are going to be like, what? Because there's a lot of tragedy in that kid's life. Mm-hmm. But, in a fun way. Like, I kind of am using that character as like inner healing. It's fun. Even my parents think it's funny. You know, we can all like relate to that.
Yeah.
And then there's like, you know, I have a Baba character that's based on my dad, and that's, yeah, that is a part of me. That's a part of my culture, my heritage. I don't know. I just always assumed that if I was doing a character, it wasn't really me.
Mm-hmm.
But there are pieces of me in them,
Yeah.
especially the kid.
But the humor that you have with these parts being true, and you say it's healing, that's going to hit someone else to be healing too.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I would hope so. I'm not really thinking about healing or anything when I'm making them. I'm really just thinking about like, how can I kind of tell this story or this observation that I've made about something that's happened to me, something that's a part of my life, something that I experienced as a child, whatever it is. How can I tell that and have people be like, oh yeah, I've like, you know, I've seen this, I've been there, whatever, in a way that makes them laugh, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think that when we're laughing, it actually makes us more vulnerable after to like accept things that could be dark and heavy.
Ooh, I like that.
That's kind of what you do. That's what I saw in like the kid character. I have those memories. Even as an adult now, there is that kid who comes up to you and says something. And as an adult, I'm like, oh my God, that is so heavy. And I hope that you unpack that at some point.
I hope you unpack it.
But I also don't think
Don't
you
worry.
have full
They will. They'll unpack it in therapy right now, like I'm doing.
all the healing.
All the healing that I'm doing through this character.
I'm a therapy hoe. I love therapy.
I think we should all be in therapy. I think we all need it. I mean, look at what we're like. Look at the world. Look where we're going. We're going through some stuff. I don't know.
Remy, our tech, we were just talking earlier about how it's been 80 years and it's only the 21st of January.
Oh, yeah. No, it's crazy that
Blowing
it's
my mind.
January and it's 2025. I'm kind of like, it feels like it's moving really fast though, and it's also slow.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so what are the other goals that you have for this year? You said one, to be more like vulnerable and to like show more of who you are and like where the stuff comes from this year. You also mentioned earlier that you started a social media marketing.
I love it. Sorry. I'm like a fly. You can't give me any, don't make any noise or I'm going to be like,
social media marketing company. So what else is working for you this year? Like, what are you working on?
I am back. I'm in acting on the camera for the camera class. Acting on the camera. I'm acting on top of the camera. I'm not in front of it. I'm just on it. No, but that's really good. I mean, I've been in that class for a while and I love it so much. But this year I'm like, my goal is to really do it and stick with it and be, you know, show up and hold myself accountable for multiple months. And so that's something that I'm doing. That's really cool. It's like the exact opposite of everything I do online. So like online, I'm like very vibrant and very big. And then I have to go remember how to like act for television, which is just
small.
So small. Yeah. And that's really fun.
And
I like it a lot.
Behind your eyes.
Yeah.
Do you feel like doing diversifying yourself creatively in ways that have been successful for you, like having a presence online with all the characters, does it feel like it took you away from acting in that way?
Interesting. No, I found it to be something to fill an empty hole. So what happened with my career so far, which it's been a great career and I'm super thankful for it, but I am excited to like really be able to have more opportunities again, is I was on FBI and I was, you know, getting asked back. I had like multiple episodes coming. I was going on like my, you know, 5th one or something like that. And then COVID happened, right? So like it all shut down and whatever. And then after the pandemic, it was like, okay, I'm not on that show anymore. My character, and every time, you know, they gave me a little bit more and it was a small role. I'm not like, you know, I wasn't a main character or anything. But when you're, you know, 24 and you're like, it's your first professional television thing, that was a big deal for me. That was like a huge milestone.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, we're going to do it. This is the first step. And then I get the next thing and the next thing. And then, you know, we had like a nice little year period where there was some stuff and I got the CBS showcase. And the CBS showcase is when I really started writing comedy characters like for real, because that is like a vigorous writing program. People don't know this about the CBS showcase, but like it's not just you going and acting. You have to like pitch and pitch and pitch. You have to give them a million ideas. You meet every single day. You're writing for like 4 or 5 hours. You're in these huge groups. It's an amazing program. And they're like, I learned that I could actually write at like I could write a lot of stuff in a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I started to identify more as a writer and think, okay, I can actually create things. I don't have to just sit around and wait for somebody to do it. So with CBS, that's what they taught me, that I can write and create my characters and then I can freaking star in it, right? So that was like a really cool experience. So that happened. And then it was 2023 when we were like, that was like our first year off of that or whatever. And then it was a strike, right? So it's just been like, woo, ah, right now. And we're coming out of that second thing, kind of.
Yeah.
But if you talk to anyone in the industry, it's like slow. And there's not as many auditions as there were before. And people in LA are complaining. And people in New York are complaining. And listen to the podcast, The Biz, because like that'll tell you everything you need to know about what's going on. But in those like downs, that was when I was like, social media is a way to keep myself accountable. Because as soon as it started to grow, first of all, I was like, oh, people actually like this. It's good, And now it's at the point where I feel like I have my own TV show. And it sucks because like I don't get paid for it really, except for partnerships or whatever, or making a business out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got social media marketing experience for myself. And now I do it for other people. And that's my full-time job. And it's awesome. And it's called Damar Digital LLC. And I'm very proud of it. And call me if you need me. But
I might be calling you.
call me if you need me. Like we literally do it all. I do it like I conceptualize it, write it, help you picture it. And then we knock out a bunch of social media for you in one day in less than 4 hours. And it's enough content for a whole month, right? That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
People don't want to be like filming every single day like I am, trying to like, what am I doing this week? What am I doing this week? But I can't get ahead because I do too much content for everybody else. So anyway, long story short, do I think that it distracted me from acting? No, I think it's been like a means to keep me relevant and kind of keep me in the outskirts or whatever of the industry and also provide opportunities for me. Like the CBS Showcase, I know for a fact that director, Tess Peros, she's amazing. She did like a deep dive of my social media. So when I was in my interview with them, they mentioned it, and more and more things I noticed people were like, oh, we really like your TikTok. Oh, we really. And then I got a job in tech in 2023 in like a really cool big tech company. And one of the first things the CEO mentioned was like, so your TikTok, pretty awesome. And I was like, this is getting me a corporate job now? Like that's pretty cool. Like a pretty substantial job that taught me a lot of things about the industry and marketing on a large scale, like a much larger scale than what I was used to. So all in all, pretty awesome.
Well, all those things just sound like the things that you needed. Like you talk about how FBI, and at 20, I know that feeling. At 24, when you get your first recurring co-star, guest star, you get anything like that, and they keep asking for you. Yeah. All you think is all your walls come down. You're finally vulnerable. You're like, I fucking made it.
Yeah. And I mean, I wasn't like thinking I made it, but I definitely felt like my foot was in the door.
Because it's external validation in what it is that you're trying to do. Yeah. And then you get that, and then something else takes it away. And then you go to CBS, and then that's feeling good, and then the strike takes the wind out of your sails. So, of course, it would make sense that when you look towards other things to give you validation, then it would make sense that after that you go, okay, I'm going to validate myself.
Yes, validate myself. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, because social media, anyone who thinks that it is not a powerful tool is wrong. It is one of the most powerful tools, and it is one of the biggest industries. And so what you're doing not only is paving the way for so many other people who, when desperately are looking for a roadmap, will find yours and be helped, but it's also like giving so much levity along the way for other people. And you've created creative leverage for yourself. And what's wild to me is all of this is intangible, and you need to make it tangible to feel secure about it. So you're seeing like tech companies and like people talking to you and being like, man, your presence online matters. And you're like, fuck yeah, it does matter.
Yeah. So weird though. It's so weird to like hear you say that. I'm like, yeah, because I have you syndrome where I go home at night and then I'm like, damn, you're not doing it. You didn't kill it. You didn't do enough. You're not where you thought you would be. And what are you like, why wake up? You know? Yeah. That's sometimes like how it feels. And it's just so destructive because really we're out here as artists, the majority of us, the 99% of everybody that's in SAG or just working in general in this business is making their own stuff and performing in shows and, you know, waiting.
Well, I think also because so much of our career is performative, that there is a level of performative where we don't let down our fourth wall, where we don't talk about what's going on behind the scenes or what we're feeling about it, because it's almost like if we speak it out into the universe, then it makes it true. But I think also like acknowledging things where you're like, I don't feel like I'm where I want to be, or anything like that. The more you talk about it, the more you're going to find that everyone feels that. And like with consulting clients and with my Me3 community, I found out that everyone feels that. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is just part of the thing, because our brains are hardwired just to keep us alive and living. And so they're like, oh, well, that's unknown, so that's scary, like we're going to die. And it's like, well, no, we're not actually going to die just because it's new and we haven't, you know, done that specific thing yet. But we have learned in the past that whenever we figure things out for ourselves, we are successful and we get to a better place.
Wow.
I mean, you're living proof.
Yeah. You're making me feel, I feel like this is therapy for me right now.
Really?
I'm like, this is what I'm going to cancel my girl later because what am I paying her?
What am I paying her
What
for?
am I doing?
Well, it is so hard because this stuff. So my question is that if all of this is intangible, it's like online, it's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's anything like YouTube. If it's these things, so how are you proving to yourself or seeing like, no, this is working? Like, how are you patting yourself on the back?
Oh, God. It's really the people. I mean, it's okay. Actually, no, I'm not going to scoff like that because I have a community. I have a community of people who are so freaking like ride or die for me that I can't even believe it. I cannot even believe it. And you guys think that I don't know who you are. I do. Every single freaking comment. I read all the comments, and sometimes that's destructive because some people are not nice. Okay. Like there's a lot of, but for the most part, you know, I mean, for the majority of them, I know who's commented multiple times. There's this like core like group that is just on every video and in my DMs. And those people are awesome. You know, they've really gotten me through. And a lot of people that have been there since I had 1 follower, I know who those people are, you know, and they kind of like check in and they like to sort of announce who they are. And even the other day, this girl messaged me and was like, you were the first TikTok account I ever followed. And I just like still love you to this day. And I was so moved by that. And then like DMs and stuff. And I don't want to like, I don't want to be reliant on that because that can go away. You know, that can go away.
It's also a tool at your disposal.
But yeah, it's hard. It's kind of scary because it's like when you're online like this, it's like having a relationship with a lot of people at once. And it can be very overwhelming. And everybody wants like a little bit of your time. Like when you reply to their comments, they're really excited about it. When you reply to the DMs, they love it, you know, like it makes people's day. And it makes my day when I get those messages. Like this other day, and I don't want to get emotional because this is like, but like this woman was like, I've been going through chemo and I'm watching all of your kid videos because it's just like bringing me back and making me just like, she just like the videos were offering healing and laughter during a really hard time. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if I died tomorrow and I know that I made one person have less of a shitty day, then I feel really good about that. And that's what I need to like work on feeling when I go to bed at night, instead of being like, I'm not a main character on a TV show and I'm not, you know, famous and whatever. Like, no, there are people out there who are laughing and the world is awful. So that's all I need.
Yeah. There's an underestimation of those spaces, and I think it's because they're virtual and because we're the last generation to be born without like I remember the invention of, or not the invention of, but well, I guess so, but I remember my first laptop. It was like 4 inches thick.
I had like a Dell, like a lime green Dell. No, I had like my first one was this like cute little lime green Dell.
The Dell. I know what you're talking about now.
It was like 2010. It was like 2010. There was like a
little Dell. Okay.
It was green.
Yeah. Yeah. But we remember when the internet started.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like these spaces still don't feel real almost because we know life without them, but they are so real, just as real as someone sending you a text.
Yeah.
You know, someone sending you an email.
Yeah, they are real. Yeah. And it's cool that you talked about like making them like tangible from intangible. I mean, you know, it's just, we're all just uploading these bits online and hoping that people enjoy them.
Yeah. If there was a scale of like seriousness, how serious do you take it to like preserve yourself? Because it's a lot of work.
Oh my God. It is a lot of work. And that's the other thing. That was like, I was kind of going to go off on that tangent. Like a lot of people, when the TikTok ban happened 2 days ago, and I was really sad. I didn't like talk about it until it was the day of. And then I was posting like a million videos and I was like, I'm sad. I'm really sad. This is awful. Because I had all these followers on TikTok and none of them are over on my Instagram or my YouTube, right? So if that goes away, you lose all of them.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that people understand that it's not about like the app itself, or I mean it's about the community and everything, but it's like we work really hard to curate these things for our followers. And we look at like, if I look into demographics, I mean, I'm a marketer, right? So I'm looking at insights, I'm looking at demographics, I'm looking at view time, I'm looking at what people liked, when people got lost, what videos do well, capitalizing on that, you know. And then I read all the comments and people are requesting things, you know, like they're like, I want to see that one kid at Universal. So what did I do? I went to Universal. I want to see Kira, you know, in the Caribbean. So I like went to, you know, I mean like, and I mean, granted, like, you know, my family lives in Turkey. So like I happened to already be in like a nice water place, but that was requested. And I was like, this is how you have to go with like what the demand is, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so
go ahead. Sorry.
No,
well, no, just because I'm like saying, like, if you're at a party and you ask everyone what they want to drink and they tell you, you're going to give it to them because you're hosting.
Exactly. I'm hosting a room and like you're in my room, you're at my party, and I just want you to have fun there. So that's why when the TikTok ban happened, I was like, I have been hosting this for a while and I'm really sad to see all these people go and potentially not be able to find them again or interact with them on the internet. Because when you go viral, it's like very special and it's not guaranteed. And having the, you know, it's not guaranteed that you're going to find those people again. And I was having a really good time. So I got really, really sad. And then of course, like 12 hours later, it was back. So.
Yeah. What'd you do in the 12 hours?
Oh, I was like in mourning. I like put on black and I was just like, we're going to have a silent day. We're going to put the phone down. I like put everything away. I ignored everybody to the point where when it came back up, I was like the last to know, you know, I like checked my phone and I had 600 messages and everybody was like, it's back on. I was like, what do you mean it's back? I had accepted it. I had gone from like anger, what's it called?
Bargaining, grief. All
all that stuff. And I was on the final one already. I was just like, we're going to do this. And then it came back and I was like, I was almost mad it came back. Yeah. And then I had to do all that work. I was like, no, we already accepted this. Just kidding. Don't take it away.
I mean, it's a lifeline for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it has community, it has communication, it also has like creative outlets, it has expression, it has information. These things, they're their own microcosms. They are houses of their own environments and their own like universes. Like they are exponential. And especially because I was talking to my friend Whitney Euland about this morning. Spaces that are meant to have response. So it's like you're not screaming into the void. I hate that term. And it's not like you're making this just for it to just hope, you know, like just for some reason. You're making it so it can be received, so it can be absorbed, and so it can make someone else think something else.
Yeah.
That's good. You know, it's like your own like dose of happiness towards another person, dose of joy, dose of laughter, something like that. So it's meant to be received. And so when someone says, oh, this has to go, that's hard. And also, you know, from a marketing perspective too, a lot of followers is really important. It's very hard to build too.
It is. And it gives you clout with clients because I can just be like, look at my TikTok. You think I don't know what I'm doing? I know what I'm doing. Yeah. So if I give you advice, please heed it because I'm here to help you take your 50 followers and, you know, make it into something else. And yeah, it's difficult to think about losing that was really hard. But at the same time, I was like, but luckily my Instagram has really picked up. So, you know, I was going to at least have that. But the thing is, Instagram is so different, right? So my Instagram crowd, I think they're a little bit older. I think that it's just not the same. Like my TikTok is where all that's like where the Gen Z people are, you know, that's where it just feels like a slightly different audience for me on TikTok. It's interesting. If they would come together, that'd be really cool. I'd like to combine them.
Does one feel more receptive than the other?
I think that like they're both receptive. I think that it's just like two different families, you know? It's like Instagram is my like very honest, very cut and dry, really tell you how they feel community. And TikTok is more just like people want to have like the wittiest comment and they want to have, you know, they want to participate in it and they want to things like that where they're kind of like competing more with each other and less with me. Is really fun. Yeah, but people on TikTok are mean too. You know, I mean, God, yeah.
Which I never understand the point of. I don't understand the point of it. I'm like, so you're choosing negativity, which is only going to propel more for you.
Yeah, I just think
who's winning?
I don't know, but it's so easy, you know, because think about all the people that are out there that are not. It's usually people that you go to their profile and there's nothing there. Because they don't have to figure out. They don't have to think about how that feels.
Yeah. How has your creativity changed with being massively seen?
Oh man, honestly, it's been really interesting. It's gone up. My creativity as a whole is just like on the up and up all the time. It's great. It's given me the confidence to write my own show, which I'm currently working on and I'm really excited about.
Amazing.
It's given me a lot, the social media stuff. Yeah. But it also kind of gets you in your head a little bit. So there's this like little thing that happens now that's like you're kind of worried about how it's going to perform. I try really, really hard to just not care how something is going to do. That's the goal, right? You want to curate it and you want to use all of your knowledge and all the little pieces that you've put together and every data point that you can to make and educate, to make the most, this is probably going to do well video, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, there's not really rhyme or reason. There's like an algorithm and, you know, they say that it runs everything, but I really don't know. I think that it's chance and it's, you know, if people are interested, if people like it, how many times they swipe, really it's just hit or miss. And like the time you post, whatever. So I try so hard to not care because I have put hours and hours and hours into content before and it gets like, you know, 3,000 or 4,000 views, which for me is like not where it should be.
Yeah.
And I have to try really hard to not be like, well, that was a bad idea and it sucked. Because usually it's not. Usually it's really cool. It's just not, it just didn't perform well or it didn't have its moment or it didn't get seen by the right people at the right time. The first like 100 people to see it weren't the right people. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that affect it. So it's hard to not let that type of reaction make you think, oh, I am not good enough or whatever. Like this idea wasn't good. Yeah. And that can be really harmful because let's say you post a character or like a show idea or whatever, and it doesn't perform well. That doesn't mean that the idea is bad or that the character's not good or that there's not something there that you need to cultivate. And a lot of us as creators, I think, can kind of take the first impression and say, oh, that one didn't work, and then just toss it away. And I think that's super detrimental because I think that there's so many good ideas and so many creators out there that are creating these really amazing things and they're getting 500 views or whatever, but it doesn't mean that it's not amazing. I mean, the number of times I find creators that are doing something and I look at the number of views and I'm like, how is this not viral? It's very often. Like it happens all the time. And so I always comment and I'm like, this is freaking gold. Keep going. You don't give up. Like this is going to be, you know, I try to support them as much as I can, but
that's beautiful.
Like, just don't let the views get you down because what do they know? What does the algorithm know? You know?
Okay, well then, especially someone like you who is creative, and it's like you're an actor, you're a writer, you're all of these things, but you also have the analytical side from the marketing. What is the balance between gut and data?
Ugh, I go gut every time. Data, I'm like, it's fine. Like, I know I have, you know, a 60% female audience, but that doesn't mean that, like, this sort of, like, more masculine idea isn't gonna cut it for me. Like, maybe if I want to do a football joke on Football Sunday, like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, go with your gut. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, no, that makes complete sense because also data's great. Data's information, but gut is so much more information and so much more aligned information. I think that's a fascinating balance to have. And I always think that everything is information, whether it's negative or positive. And that's what kind of keeps me in the middle ground. And I guess protected. But also I genuinely think that the definition of anything is just information.
Wow. which is like all social media. It's just like getting bombarded with information, right? Like,
yeah.
That's also something that I'm like, that's a different time. Now I'm like going off on a tangent in my head because I just saw a video before I came here and I'm like, oh my God. Like, okay, can I sidebar really quick?
Please.
Okay, so you know how like Elon Musk, like low-key just did the like Heil Hitler thing?
He high-key did it, yeah.
He high-key did. Okay, sorry. It's true. It's just, it makes me very uncomfortable to even talk about that because I'm like, I don't even want to bring that up because it's like, how can you?
Yeah, we hate it here.
Yes. So then I saw another video immediately after seeing that of this guy who was basically saying like that it was AI and like trying to prove how it was AI and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there thinking like, I saw this live. I watched the inauguration for political. I want to be current. I want to know what's going on. I needed my references. I do a Trump, so I like really needed to know what's going on. So I was like, I'm here. I'm taking notes. I'm writing down what he's saying. I'm like, remain in Mexico. Very cool. Remain in Mexico. All right. Catch and release. I love it. We're getting so many things to talk about here. And then that happened. And I was like, whoa. And I saw it with my own eyes. You know, I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is live television. This is like, it's not, you know, a new concept. How are you going to AI that live? I'm sorry. It was crazy. But the number of people that saw it was awful. And then the number of people who believe it now at this point, it's like that's a whole thing. So the misinformation for me is super scary.
I think it's scary too, and I also think that the misuse of delusion is scary too. Where it's like, well, that doesn't align with what I believe, so I'm just not going to believe that. Actually, I'm going to support previous like thoughts with this somehow. If I dilute this enough, this is going to support the way I already thought, so I don't have to think a new way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And I don't know why it's so scary to think. And like, I decided a while ago that change was just going to be super exciting for me.
Oh, good for you. I'm still very change resistant.
Hey, but it makes sense though. We're not meant to. But our survival tactics as like a human species is to constantly be adapting and evolving because that's what evolution is. But it is a scary time, and I think that also a lot of people use online attention leverage or creative leverage to kind of double down on what they're already afraid of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah. This explains why my YouTube is filled with like a scuba horror incident. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what I'm afraid of. So I'm seeing a lot of it. Because I like to go into that. I'm like, yeah, I'm afraid of this. I'm going to keep watching. Yeah, more.
And the more information I get about this thing that I'm afraid of will make me less afraid of it because I know what's going to happen in case I have a scuba accident. Or in case a shark comes to get me.
Exactly. Also have a lot of shark videos on my feed. I am very afraid of deep water. I have the deep water fear. Somebody knocked, I think.
Yeah. Everyone wants to participate. We're just having so much fun.
Okay.
The noises today are so, we're being
they're
tested.
crazy.
It's good. This is exciting.
I had fun with that.
I kind of had fun with it too. That made me actually think of the Will Ferrell character. Do you know about him going into a school?
No.
No? So when he was at USC, he was actually at USC with my uncle. They were in the same fraternity.
Oh, wow.
And he did something where he went into a professor's class, mid-class, and he came as the janitor. And he came and he started just cleaning up in the middle of the class and like throwing people's books in and leaving.
Why is it so funny?
Why is it so because that's the social media before social media. That is like the giving a character real life. And he did this, and then afterwards the professor found him and was like, you need to do that every year in my class.
That's so good.
It was so good. That's what that made me think of.
I love Will Ferrell. He's always been one of my like top childhood comedian inspos.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Who else?
Oh, Kate McKinnon, obviously. Kristen Wiig, obviously. Maya Rudolph, obviously. Rachel Dratch, obviously. Pretty much like that SNL era really like impacted me. Cecily Strong. Oh, my God. So many people.
Do you want to be on SNL?
I think, I could probably.
I
could handle it. Yeah.
Oh, you could more than handle it.
I know I could handle it. I think I would enjoy it. You know, more and more lately I've been like, people are because like people tag me and they'll be like, NBC SNL, like she's so funny, put her on. And that one kid, I definitely think could be like a Weekend Update, like perfect character. Because it reminds me of, I mean, it's like, you know, I think Vanessa Bayer had like a kid character that was really fun on Weekend Update. That was like super different. I think he was like always at like a bar mitzvah or something. But yeah, I don't know. That could be fun.
What are other things that you're shooting for in the future?
Film and television. I
Yeah.
just really like acting. I do worry that I get like pigeonholed into comedy, even with my manager, who I love very much, but I have to sometimes remind like my chops in drama are strong. And I honestly think sometimes that okay, so I was trained classically. I didn't start doing comedy until after I got like my BFA and stuff, honestly. I mean, I was always funny.
Yeah.
And I was always kind of the one screwing around in class and kind of being like, okay, watch me do Ophelia, but you're gonna laugh. I just don't like to be pigeonholed, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to figure out a way to bring a little more drama into my channel. But the thing about social media is that nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants you to like change up what they're doing. People get very comfortable and they like, I get to explore. I'm really lucky. Everybody kind of is on board with me being like, now we're going to do an impression. Now we're going to do a crazy character. Now we're traveling. Now, you know, so it's fun. And I have a genre I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I enjoy serious just acting.
Yeah.
And I think that comedy is in drama and drama is in comedy and they're super intertwined. And I think that the best comedians can like make you freaking cry. And then 2 seconds later you're laughing. You know what I mean? And I like that.
Robin Williams,
Yeah.
rest in peace. I can see that happening for you. Like I can totally see you booking like some killer, juicy fucking role.
That's what I want.
And then everyone being like, no way. But the thing is, I think that the best route to that is to let your subconscious, your conscious, and then what I have in my Meet the Three community is the creative conscious, is you let all 3 levels of conscious know what's going to happen, and then you practice it in some way. So you're already diversifying in tons of different ways. So diversity is already the norm for you at one level, and it's only a matter of time until it catches on at the other spots. So you are going to get those big roles in drama and in things where you actually get to, and I don't want to, earlier I said, you know, does it pull you away from acting? And I meant it with the air quotes, but it's like, because what you are doing is still acting.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard because with acting, when you're not hitting all the facets of who you are as a person, it feels like you're not using your whole instrument, you know, and it's okay for you to go wild on the cowbell for a little bit. I don't know a ton of instruments, but it's
More cowbell.
More cowbell.
Another SNL favorite.
I know we were just talking about SNL, so I thought, but I can see that happening. But people are already going to know you, and it's like they're going to follow. But it's just going to be. I look forward to seeing everyone's minds being blown by what else it is that you can do as you continue to expand, diversify, and then prove to people that you can, because you've already proved it to yourself.
Yeah, I look forward to that too. If everybody that followed me came to my acting class, they'd be like, okay, that's different. You know what I mean? So I wish I could do that, but we don't record anything in there, which I've been meaning to talk to them about.
Yeah, well, you should be able to, even just to watch it back after too.
I know, it's just not part of their program, which I think it's cool. The whole point is like you gotta learn how to feel when something is good. Because here's the thing, when you're on set, and this was like a lesson I learned as I was working on a big set, it's like you do it and then like, you know, if you get it, I think we did some scenes they'll be like 15, 20 times and you just have to do it again and again. Yeah. But you never get to see it unless you're in on those dailies. You know what I mean? Unless you're a part of the people that get selected to go and watch the playback of the day, the dailies. You don't know what it looks like until it literally comes out. So you have to know what it feels like to get it right. Because if a director asks you, if you're lucky enough to have a director who asks you, are you feel good? Which that's super rare.
Yeah.
Then you need to know if you feel good or not. And so to do that, you need to know if you got it without having to see it roll back. Because you're not always going to get to see those.
No, you're not always going to get to see the evidence. So you have to create your own.
Yeah.
So if you had to just like, in an idea really quickly, if you had to tell me actions right now that you would take that would help you diversify and show more of yourself in this new year, what would it be?
Oh, okay. Find a way to still be funny, but like throw a little drama in there. Just show like a little less wig, a little bit more like, you know, there are some creators that do this really amazing like scene style thing, you know, like Mackenzie Barman. I don't know how to say her last name. I can't ever remember people's names, but
apparently neither can I.
Do you know? Throwback. Okay, call back. Do you know the girl on TikTok who does like her whole thing started when she was like singing songs and they were like apparently problematic and then her other self would be crying. And it was like very dramatic. She filmed it like super cinematically, but she'd be singing like, you know, like Ring Around the Rosie, whatever. And then her other self would be like, hey, you know where that comes from, right?
I know exactly
You know
who
who
you're
I'm talking about.
Yes.
Mackenzie somebody. I'm sorry. I would love to work with her one day. She's fantastic. But like she really throws drama in her work. And when I see her, I'm like, I could see how I would cast her. And that's something that I'm trying to figure out how to do more for me. How can I show casting that I'm castable for film and TV, not just, you know, for SNL, which I would love to be on SNL. That would be an amazing experience and creative platform to have. But if I'm also looking at TV, you know, you kind of have to go outside of character. So I'm trying to do that. Other things, oh my God, I don't know. I'm talking to myself in that scenario, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's cool about the one that you just said, though, is that you can apply basically a formula in terms of another person, which means that you have the scope to switch it back onto yourself, where you're like, she gave me what I needed to work with. I look at that. I know exactly how I would cast her. Great. You also know exactly how to cast yourself. So I think it's about like, you have that direction of seeing her and then working backwards, or sorry, working forward. And then you do the same thing with yourself. You just work backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to figure that. I got to figure out that thing for me.
Which you totally can. If you figured it out for someone else, the practice is already there. But, you know, online, is there anything like outside that you would do, like a practice that you're like, oh, this is like a thing? Like, and I think one would definitely be like you're acting for the camera class.
Yeah, that's one. So keep in that.
Yeah.
Stay doing that. Damn, you're making me think so hard on a Tuesday.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's like, you know, stay in class. Sorry, I'm slipping in the kid. That happens. Like, that literally. See, when I get uncomfortable, too, I'm just like, I don't know.
No, it's okay. I mean, I think it's also like you clearly have found a way to get comfortable in the uncomfortable by like making these characters so joyful for you and for other people, too.
Yeah.
So I think that's... I think you're doing great.
Thank you.
I think you're doing more than great. I think you're doing wonderfully. And I'm like... beyond touch that you came on here and that we just like stayed in each other's orbits.
Oh my God. This is the part where I'd like to like squeeze your finger and talk about holding space for...
Oh, do you want to? I have a long nail. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I always wanted to do that.
It's my first time too. How are people going to find you? Anything you want to plug?
How do you find me? At Sibel, not Sibel. Okay, let's just tell the people. I'm putting this on my channel.
Yeah.
My name is Sibel Damar. It is not Sibel. It's not Sibel. It's Sibel. Sibel. It's Turkish. Okay. And you can find me at Sibel Damar on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat now, and also Red Note. I got on all of them. I was like, when TikTok was going down, I was like, I'm not going out yet.
No, diversity is key, man.
Yeah,
get yourself
so hard.
everywhere.
You have to post on everything. Oh,
I know. Honestly, it is there's a reason it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also the diversity that you have there is great because at some point between all these platforms, it's like you're just getting your name out there until people know exactly how to say your name.
Yeah.
And they don't have to talk about they just say your name.
That'll be fun.
Exactly.
But I have a feeling I'm going to end up like Saoirse Ronan. I mean, like you think a lot of people say Saoirse, right? But then they see her name and they're like, Swarzy Ronan. You know what I mean? And I really feel her for that. I'm like, yeah, that one's tough.
Yeah. I can't, as Kate, I can't relate, but.
Okay. Well, people probably call you McLeod.
McLeod.
Yeah.
McLeod.
Yeah.
Got a couple different ones. But now you know it's us here.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel very therapied. I feel better. I'm ready to start my week.
Get it.
And that's the latest. I'm honored to have been part of your thinking sphere today. Feel free to share, like, and subscribe on this platform or follow and participate on any of my social media platforms. If this practice intrigues you as much as it does me, then join us in the Me3 community, where we will work directly and you'll curate a mindful method of thinking to define your own creative conscious. Thanks for listening to the latest episode of Authenticated. I love that you're here.